What's up, y'all? It's Sunday. I hope everybody out there is happy and healthy. So with that said, let's go ahead and get down on this video. And I want to talk about the fact that Thee Stallion announced on yesterday that she has broken up with Klay Thompson based off of him cheating on her. And what's interesting about this particular situation is the fact that it's rumored that Klay actually cheated on Megan with a WNBA player by the name of Lexi Brown. Now, Lexi has limited the comments on her Instagram, but she didn't get quite to all of the posts, so some of her critics were able to sneak in and basically jump in the comments and hound and harass her on the behalf of Megan, right? And we'll get to some of those comments in a minute. Now, this is what Megan had to say about her relationship with Klay on yesterday. She said, "I've made the decision to end my relationship with Klay. Trust, fidelity, and respect are non-negotiable for me in a relationship, and when those values are compromised, there's no real path forward. I'm taking this time to prioritize myself and move ahead with peace and clarity." Megan also says in another post, "Cheating had me around your whole family playing house, got cold feet, holding you down through all of your horrible mood swings and treatment towards me during your basketball season. Now you don't know if you can be monogamous. B, I need a real break after this one. Bye, y'all." Now, there's a lot of people that are accusing Glorilla of being petty because they're saying that after Meg broke the news that she broke things off with Klay, she went to her Instagram story and posted 3 laughing emojis, and they're saying that that was aimed towards Megan. I do know that they have a little bit of a history of going back and forth with one another, a little bit of a bickering there that they've had. But at the end of the day, she could have been laughing at anything, but they're saying that it's applicable to the Thee Stallion situation. Then Ice Cube's twin, which is his son actually, we all know that, O'Shea Jackson, he chimed in and said that, "Klay, you got to get out of Texas as soon as possible." Now, here's a common tweet that I've been seeing. I mean, a lot of dudes are expressing this same sentiment. And this person says, "Why would a handsome, successful, multimillionaire basketball champion date a ratchet like her? That's what I really want to know." And then also Lil Duval, he chimed in and said, "I knew Klay Thompson was a real ninja." And then there were a couple of responses aimed at Lil Duval, with this person saying, "Actually, she's the winner. No baby and no marriage, no ties, just move on to the next." And then another person says, "The way black men applaud and encourage degeneracy is so pathetic and embarrassing." Now, here's some of the comments from Lexi Brown's Instagram account. And this is the girl again. Let me reiterate that they're accusing that Klay cheated on Thee Stallion with. And this person says, "B, come outside. We ain't gonna jump you." And then another person says, "I'm not to compare women, but this Bama to Megan, Klay will play." And then another person says, "Out of all the NBA players." And then somebody else says, "Y'all quit with it." And then this person says, "You forgot to limit this one too, honey," talking about the fact that she limited a lot of her previous posts so people couldn't comment, but they were able to get to ones that she hadn't limited yet. Now, other comments that were made on Lexi's Instagram posts include that she wasn't that aesthetically pleasing, Klay couldn't get nobody that looked better than Megan, so forth and so on. So they are really tearing this girl apart in the comment section of her Instagram posts. Now, I will say this about this situation. It seems as though that Megan possibly was ready to settle down with Klay, maybe even start a family. Maybe she thought that she found her forever in Klay, and Klay just wasn't mentally there. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if you look at Klay's track record, and these are things that I'm just seeing online and things that I have confirmed, he has been a habitual cheater in the past, but then others highlight Megan's past, saying that she's been ripped and ran through as it pertains to all of the guys that she slept with in the industry. Now, up until this point, Klay hasn't responded, and I don't expect him to. Klay is basically a quiet natured type of person, so I don't expect him to come out and say anything in regards to this breakup between him and Meg. But ultimately, what's most important here is that both parties move on, and I wish them both the best in their future endeavors. Because listen, sometimes people just don't work out, and Klay was wrong for cheating on Megan. He really was. And I do think it's a different standard when you talk about a woman versus a man and how many people they sleep with, because a man can sleep with all of these women and be considered, you know, this big hot shot, right? But when a woman does it, she's a hoe. A man can be a hoe and a woman can be a hoe. Let's keep that same energy for both, right? Now, I want to be clear. I'm not labeling Klay and Megan as hoes. I'm just talking about the overall perception and narrative that's being pushed out there as it pertains to Thee Stallion sleeping with all of these guys, and they're devaluing her, saying that Klay Thompson had no business dating her in the first place. But anyway, let's move along, and I want to talk about what in the hell is going on between Joseline and Lemmy, right? And so Joseline has come to the internet saying that Lemmy has stopped her paychecks based off of the fact that she has her own app and that Lemmy is trying to take food off of her table. She's pregnant and he's bringing all of this drama, interfering with her pregnancy. It's just getting crazy. Lemmy has come out and defended himself against the accusations that Joseline has put out there against him. Joseline even posted a picture on Instagram of her being in the hospital, and she said, "That evil man sent me to the hospital the other night, but God is my God. I do not serve Lucifer." She also said, "Any survivors, hit me up. Let's bring the house down. Surviving Diddy Jr. until I can say his full name, but we know who I'm talking about, surviving the Z." Now, Lemmy did respond to that with a receipt. So apparently Joseline's husband, Ballistic, texted him about Joseline being in the hospital, and the text read, "Good morning. Jay is in the hospital with pregnancy complications. I'll need some time to talk to her about everything and would appreciate pausing this discussion until she's good. I had to take her to the ER last night." And Lemmy says her husband sent that text on Thursday. So the fact that she posted a hospital pic and tried to make it seem like I had anything to do with her being there is crazy work. I have absolutely nothing to do with her not doing well. And so it is getting crazy. They both got banter back and forth online. They made posts on their respective Instagram platforms, but then they both went live to address the issue. So instead of like reading all of the posts that they made, because there were several, I'm just going to play you some of what both of them had to say, and then I'll be back.
How's everybody doing? I wanted to come on here, excuse my appearance, but I'm truly scared for my life. Lemuel Plummer is a predator. Lemuel Plummer is a predator. He waited until I was pregnant to make threats. He waited until I was pregnant to text my phone about taking my streaming network down. Lemuel Plummer, I'm not saying nothing that is not truth. Everything that I'm saying is truth. You are you get men and women to beat up people and you pay them. You're a mobster. You're a mobster. You're a and you go against women. You go against women that you think are by themselves and that are not going to protect themselves and that are not going to speak up for themselves. Right now, I'm pregnant. I'm 39 years old. I'm pregnant with the first kid of my husband. And you choose to wait till I'm pregnant to say anything to me about my streaming app. You're sending threats to my phone. You have people calling my phone, making threats to my phone, and I'm fear for my life. You making threats to my phone, Lemuel Plummer. I fear for my life. Everybody in Zeus Network and all the cast members in Zeus Network knows that you pay people to beat up your cast members. They know that you pay people to make your cast members and to harass them and to control their narrative. You're $1 billion man. You're so upset that I started my own little streaming app. That you saying I'm being defamatory towards you. It's not defamation when I'm speaking the truth. You're an evil man, and I'm fearing for my life. And I'm going live just in case I get my car shut up in Miami, where I'm at. Because I'm in Miami, and I know you be in Miami all the time. And every time you come to Miami, you f*** with me. And you didn't think I would let the world know how you being acting like a f***ing predator while I'm pregnant. You want to go online and put this fake face on. You want to go online and act like you this good guy. You're not a good person, Lemmy. You're not a good person. You're not a good person, and it's going to come to light. It's going to come to light what you've been doing to people, what you've been doing to young ladies. You harass every female on your network. Not just me. You harass Janisha, Scotty? How many times have you beat up Janisha? How many times have you beat up Scotty? How many times have you beat up those baddies? How many times have you paid these people off for them not to take you to court? You're not gonna get away with it, Lemmy. You can't go around harassing people, sending threat to people, and then going online and saying, "Oh, I'm being they just telling lies on me." How many women are going to say the same thing about you, and nobody's gonna believe them? How many women, how many young ladies got to go online, Lemuel Plummer, to talk about surviving Zeus Network and surviving the Lemuel Plummer? How many young women? Who's got to get killed? Is it going to have to be me? So you're going to kill with my baby, Lemuel Plummer? So now you're going to kill with my baby? Now you're going to kill me? How many people in your network got to go on live and tell the truth about you, and you act like it's all a lie? How can possibly 100,000 on you and the stuff that you're doing or you're done, Lemmy? You contacted me, you harassing me on my phone, you harassing me on my text messages, telling me to shut down my network because it's direct competition with your network. You trying to stop me from feeding my daughter and feeding my own kid?
But I think I lost service. What I was trying to say was I was frustrated that I have to address this stuff. Way social media works, with just how things spread fast, false narratives, and all those things. It would be irresponsible for me not to address this stuff that she said on her live. And that's what I was saying. And I asked her a few questions, and I said, have you seen yourself on TV prior to Zeus and during your time at Zeus? That was like the first couple questions I had asked. And then I said, we've always, presented you, or we've always given you the platform and the opportunity for you to present yourself the way you want to be presented. We've given you creative freedom to do exactly that. That's what I was saying on camera. So I'm just trying to like process everything that was said, because there has been so many, and I said this earlier before my signal went out. I said there's been so many altercations involving you that have been broadcast over the course of your entire career, which could have been decades, I'm not sure, over multiple platforms and networks. And the behavior that you're trying to attribute to me is behavior that you've actually shown towards your cast members and your castmates, and it's all captured on camera, it's all recorded, okay? You accused me today of threatening you physically, which has never happened. I have never physically threatened you. I'm not even a violent person. I don't threaten people. It's never existed a day in my life. I don't threaten people physically. You accused me of being a predator. You accused me of abuse physically, emotionally, mentally, and even said that I'm trafficking women, which is so egregious, it's so ridiculous, and it's completely false. So the fact that you are saying these things is very hurtful in a real way, because it just does not exist. Okay, that's my name, it's my business, and it's my life. Okay, that's what this is about and why I am live. I am a human just like everybody else, and I'm not going to allow you to do that. Okay, you claim I've threatened you. Where have I threatened? Where is Ballistic? Where is your husband? Why isn't he calling me, texting me? Where is he at? If somebody threatened my girl, I'm getting on the phone and I'm going to call them. I'm not going to go live on social media and say I made a threat to harm somebody. Like, that doesn't even make logical sense. Nobody's ever sent you a text. Where's this text message? Where's the text message? Please show the text message, because you know me, I will have no problem showing the text messages. There was no real threat ever. There's never been any threat ever, a real anything, but I've never threatened you. Your family, your husband, it's never existed. So please show whatever receipts that you're talking about regarding threatening you, because it just doesn't exist. These are all false claims. They're all false. Okay? I'm not a street person. I've never been in a gang. I've never been arrested. I've never been to jail. I have never been to prison. And to say I'm out here threatening people and banging on people, you specifically, is crazy. Like I said it earlier in my statement, I'm like, Joseline, you could probably beat me up. You could probably beat me up. Look at my size, the optics of it, and look at Ballistic and me and you. Like, it doesn't even, and to say I'm putting hits, and I don't even think like that.
All right, so you heard what both of them had to say. Now, there's a lot of people that are siding with Joseline based off of the fact they're saying that Joseline didn't stutter not one time, so they believe her account. And then there's people that believe Lemmy, because Lemmy did pose a couple of questions that are very interesting. He said, yo, if I sent you text messages threatening you, then provide them. You know what I'm saying? Basically calling her bluff. And if you can't provide those text messages, then somebody is lying, right? And then the second question that Lemmy posed was like, well, if I sent you those text messages, then why I'm not having a conversation with your husband? Because if you send a threatening message to my girl or my wife or whatever the case may be, I'm supposed to be talking to them, because they should be trying to check me, or should be checking me for coming at their wife like that. And that's some true shit right there. If we're going to be honest, right? The conversation would be between Lemmy and be between Ballistic, but Ballistic is not saying nothing. It's Joseline. Listen, I don't know if this is true, but I think that Joseline is trying to branch out on her own, and she's trying to get this new app that she has popping off so she could be more independent and make her money that way, which will be good for her and her family. Now, the thing about the contract, right? I don't know what she signed, because basically Lemmy said that she's in breach of her contract and she's upset. Because if you sign a contract saying that you cannot use your image or your likeness anywhere else as it pertains to anything that you got going on with the show or with the network Zeus, right? Then you are in breach of contract. And basically Joseline is just trying to get out of that contract. And she's weaponizing the fact that she's pregnant, and she's trying to put pressure on Lemmy, basically forcing his hand to do whatever she wants him to do. That's why Lemmy came out and posted that he was not going to be bullied. But listen, I don't know if that's true. I don't have a dog in this fight, but I'm saying it does come down to the contract. If he's saying that she's in breach of the contract, does Joseline know what she actually signed? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you guys to feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll check you guys out later. Have a beautiful Sunday.